Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. Today we're going to talk about LLMs and foundational models. We will understand why both these models have become a household name in every AI enthusiast life, right? But before that, but before we dive into this particular subject, I would recommend all of you to first have a clear sort of an understanding about generative AI, what exactly it means. Because if you're aware about it, then it will become very much easy to understand and correlate the subject matter more, right? Uh, for the people who are already aware about generative AI, you are good to go. Let's continue with the video. But for the people who are not to worry. I had created another video about what is generative AI, so I'll put the link in the description as well. So from there, you can easily go through that particular video, and I think you'll be good to go to understand exactly what LLM and FM are already, basically about. So not to worry, I'm there to save you guys. So uh, without wasting any further time, let's understand what exactly LLM is all about, right? So whenever we talk about LLMs or large language models, it is basically a type of foundational model. I have highlighted the word foundation models. Don't panic that because I'm trying to describe certain things with the help of another model that we'll be describing, right? Not to worry, I'll explain everything one by one. Just be patient. So a large language model is a type of foundation model specifically designed for NLP task, okay, or text oriented task. When I say NLP, it means natural language processing, okay? And just forget the foundational model part. It's just a subset of, basically, you can also describe LLM as a subset of deep learning sort of neural networks techniques as well, or foundational model as well. But keeping it aside, LLMs are trained on extensive text data sets and they are capable of generating human-like text. It is also capable of understanding the context and performing a wide range of large, I'll say language related tasks. Okay. This task will include simple stuff that you have already seen in ChatGPT and all. I'll describe upon those things also in upcoming, slides. But it will include tasks such as translations. It will include tasks such as summarizations, content generations, and even question answering sort of a task. Everything can be done easily utilizing LLMs. I'll keep it very brief. So if you have to describe characteristics of LLM in simple words, then you can say it is text focused. When I say text focused, it means that specifically it is designed for handling any sort of text data. Okay. Secondly, there's another point which is language understanding. So whenever we talk about language understanding, it is capable of understanding the context, even the semantics. When what I mean by semantics is the meaning and the interpretation of any sort of words, signs, and even sentence structures very easily. Apart from that, understanding in terms of syntax or more complex languages also, sort of structures also, anything can be taken care of by LLMs. When we talk about the generative capabilities, it can generate coherent, you can say, what do I mean by coherent? It means clear or intelligible answers, right? And contextually appropriate text can also be provided or it can be generated very easily with the help of LLMs. Lastly, versatility. When we talk about versatility in NLP task, it means it is used for tasks like translations, as I told you before as well, like summarizations, question answering sort of a task, right? Or even a conversational agent. I mean, you can utilize LLM models even in conversational agents. I already had done another video on Watson X assistant, which was like virtual assistant as well. You can look into that as well. Over there, there's a questioning answering sort of a task as well, which is being done very easily. So behind the scenes, it has generative AI capabilities, and in some way or the other, LLM models have already been also been fused with it. So you can also have a quick look to it through that particular video. It is pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure that you'll love that particular video as well. So I'll highly recommend it. I'll put the link on the I button right now. If not, then that particular video's link will also be in the description. You can go through that. Let's move on. I'll stick to the particular topic now. So whenever we talk about examples of LLM models, there are many. You can have a look through it. I mean, you might be aware of some like GPT-4. It's also an LLM model. Uh, Gamma is there, which is of Google's LLM model. Then Llama 3 of Meta. Apart from that, even Google has Flan T5, which is another LLM model. Don't worry, in future videos I'll try to even show you by accessing all these models exactly how it works. We'll do Python coding and all that things as well. So things will be very interesting soon. Stay tuned for more videos. So coming back, so probably you can see on the lower part of this particular slide that there is two images on the left hand side. It's like in ChatGPT in the text or NLP format, or in some in terms of simple prompt or text I have written. Uh, I mean, a task which I have asked them to do, like how to create my own generative AI model, right? I have asked the ChatGPT itself. So look at the brilliancy over here. So jokes apart, like, and I have asked also them to request the model to keep the I mean, I have requested the model to keep the answer precise as well. So on the right hand side, once I click on the arrow button on the white part, if you see, what happens is that it generates a step-by-step process in order to create a model from scratch. Okay, and the answer is precise and to the point as well. So just look at the capability of LLM models nowadays. So it's able to give you very precise and short answers, to the point, nothing extra, nothing too creative as well. So I mean, you can do fine-tuning sort of task as well in LLM models. Again, what is a fine-tuning and all that? Don't worry, we'll talk about it in the upcoming videos. For the timing, this sort of basic understanding of LLM model is enough. Now, I remember, right? I told you about foundation models as well. So don't worry, I'll talk about that part as well. So when we talk about foundation models, it's basically a large scale pre-trained neural network design sort of a program which has the base for a variety of basically creating downstream tasks. So what do I mean by downstream task? Whenever I say downstream task, basically the output of one particular, I'll say, part of the model will become the input of the other. So it is like dependent upon the other parts. So whenever we talk about LLM models, I'll be a little bit technical over here. So earlier the LLM models were built upon LSTM, GRU, you can say the RNN sort of a architecture. Okay. If people you are aware about deep learning techniques, then it's fine. If not, forget about this. But nowadays, you will see the LLM models are prepared on the transformer sort of an architecture, right? It has the encoder decoder sort of parts within it, and it also has encoder decoder with attention now, right? So all these things have been integrated within it. Never mind, we'll keep the technical things aside. So what is foundation models? If I have to say, then it's basically a model which is trained on a larger set of data, right? Which includes the NLP part, it includes the image oriented informations, any graphical persisting data, audio clips, video clips, you name it, everything, right? Is a part of foundation model. So you can say that it's a larger part of LLM, right? LLM being a smaller construct, it only focuses on the language part, whereas the foundation model on the other end, uh, it's like a wider I mean, it follows a wider spectrum, and it is basically trained on all sorts of informations, right? And that's what makes foundation model. The name foundation means that it's the base, right? So that's what foundation model is all about. If I have to describe the characteristics of foundation models in terms of scale, then they're typically very large in size. Certain I'll say models like even ChatGPT, I think, is made on more than 34 million or trillion parameters, uh, sort of thing. I don't remember the exact figure, so uh, forgive me for that. But yeah, so that's the kind of parameter I mean, that level of informations and parameter parts are there within this model, right? Foundation model means it's one of the biggest ones. I mean, it takes couple of years to sort of train it, right? And you might think, what's the use of training such a big model? So the reason of having this foundation model is that you don't have to train stuff from the scratch, right? The scientists can use this model, they can utilize this pre-configured model, and then they can leverage it for their own benefits, right? Whatever sort of I'll say task that they are doing, right? They can easily use this particular models. Now they're also present on the open source platforms like Hugging Face. So you can easily extract this sort of models from there, and you can leverage it for your own work very easily. So it sounds pretty interesting, right? We'll see exactly how it works as well in the upcoming sort of videos, right? So in terms of diversity of training data, they are trained on extensive data sets that may include text, as I told you, images, it can be audios or any other sort of data. You name it, you think about it, all of this can be included within foundation models. Not can be, it is already included. So that's another thing. Apart from that, when we talk about the generalization, it is capable of capturing sort of broad patterns, uh, and the knowledge that it can be adapted to different tasks, right? You can leverage the same capabilities. As I told you before, for example, if there is any particular model in any of the open source platforms, you can take that particular model, you can fine tune it, you can make your silly little changes over there, you can train it, you can ask the models different questions, and see exactly what sort of answers they're able to derive out of it. And the most important thing is the transfer learning part, right? In the foundation models, often used as starting point for fine tuning, as I told you before, or specific task as well. And it's leveraging the general features learned during the pre-training part. So foundation model being a very large uh, model with huge sets of training data on which it is trained upon and it's working, you can utilize those capabilities to fine tune it into a niche sort of a sector. Right now, this sector can be anything. It can be sports, it can be logistics, it can be financial, you name it, it can be done anywhere and everywhere. Right. So that's what foundation model is. I hope things are clear up till here about what LLM is and what foundation models are all about. Now coming to the examples of foundation models, right? So in foundation models, I have multiple examples. I have kept two of them over here. On the left hand side, it is GitHub Copilot, right? So GitHub's Copilot is it's a foundation model basically, where you can write certain instructions and it will be able to provide you the code. Or let's say if there is a code which is having particular errors, then you can just paste it there. On the right hand side, it will generate the code for you as well. So all those sort of quirky tasks and very fun oriented task which can save a lot of lives, right? A lot of developers' lives are saved because of GitHub and all that. Now the developers don't come after me, but that's the thing. So GitHub has become a very important part of our daily life now. Right, for any sort of repository task or anything, like we can put so many requests over there and then download the stuff, so on and so forth. A lot of tasks are dependent upon GitHub. So GitHub obviously did that. And the most interesting fact, if you are not aware, that is that GitHub Copilot is made with, I mean, in partnership with or with conjugation with OpenAI, right? So OpenAI is Codex, if you are aware about, right? They have a different platform altogether which does a similar sort of task. So OpenAI made a partnership with sort of GitHub and they came up with GitHub Copilot. So there's an interesting fact for you. So I'm pretty sure that is something that must be a little bit, I mean, I'll say important sort of a information. So if for that, do subscribe, yeah. And coming back, so there are many more foundation models. On the right hand side, you can see Delhi. So it's another foundation model where you can see that there's a very simple text given over there of a super sunflower, sort of a hedgehog, which is there, and it's asking the particular model to imagine it, right? Exactly how it might look, right? A hedgehog which has sunflowers on it. So the model was, I mean, basically, it was intelligent enough to understand the context and then create certain things uh, around that particular ask, right? And you can see the resultant image is very much what somebody can think about or what you might be imagining all about. So just imagine the sort of intelligence this foundation model holds. Apart from these models, there are other models as well, like BERT. It is which is pre-trained on large amounts of text corpus or fine-tuned for specific NLP task as well. Apart from that, there are other models like Clip. Okay, it combines text and image data to understand and then generate sort of multi-model sort of a content, right? I hope you understand. So BERT and Clip also, you can go through those stuff also after this video. Probably it can give you a better understanding of exactly how it works. Uh, I'll provide the link. I'll try to provide the link of all these models that I'm talking about so that you can go across those particular pages and read about them as well. Lastly, when we talk about the difference of what exactly foundation models are versus what LLM models are all about. So on the left hand side, I have given points about foundation, and the right hand side consists of LLM models. So whenever somebody talks about foundation and they ask you, like in interviews or something, what is foundation models, LLM models, differentiate both. Okay. So basically you can give this particular pointers. It will be really helpful for you. So on the foundational model part, they are broad and general in terms of they can handle multiple data types. When I talk about multiple data types, it is nothing else but multiple types of informations or datas, which can be text, it can be image, it can be audios, any graphical persisting information, you name it. All of this can be a part of foundation models. Whereas on the right hand side, when we talk about the LLM models, we spoke upon before as well about this particular point that LLM models are only specific to the language task or task oriented to NLP. Second point is that on the foundation model part, it is trained on diverse data sets across various domains. Okay. Uh, as I told you, various domains means that any sort of sector, any sort of data type. On the right hand side, primarily it is trained on large text corpora or large text oriented databases. Uh, on the other part, on the other another third point is that is focused on varying tasks, right? So basically, you can utilize it to generate you can provide an input as an image and generate a text. You can put the text as an input and generate a image for that, or the vice versa, as I told you, or text to text, image to image. All these things are possible in foundation models. On the LLM model part, you can write text and generate text also. So it will be homogeneous. So homogeneous Gen AI model sort of a architecture. So again, if you're not aware about homogeneous, heterogeneous generative AI models or something like that, then again, I have dropped the link for that. It is present in that video of what is exactly generative AI. Go through that, it will give you a lot of clarity and you'll be able to understand better. So again, then there is fourth example, which is again the examples of what are some of the famous foundation models and some of the LLM models. Again, uh, I mean, I'll just let you know, it is just a handful of whatever I could fit into this particular slide. There are a lot more models which are very famous in terms of foundations and in terms of LLM models both. So you can also do a lot of digging and you'll find better models as well. Some models might even come across. These are whatever are present till date. Okay, whatever I am aware about or whatever I find interesting, I've kept it over here. Your choices may be a little bit different. So in terms of foundation models, the examples can be Delhi, it can be GitHub, Copilot is another example, BERT, Clip, etc. In terms of LLM models, you can go through GPT-4, Gemma, Llama 3, Flan 5, etc. I mean, you name it, all these things are there. You can go through them. So that's it. Guys, basically, I'll meet you guys in the next video. Till then, keep reimagining data with AI. And thank you all. Like, subscribe the channel as well, and share it with your friends and family. Okay. And stay tuned for more interesting videos. Bye bye.